So good morning everybody. If you can't hear me, just twiddle the little button that sticks out a little bit above your head to adjust the volume on the microphone, and then later on when you're fed up of me, then you know how to switch me off as well. If you'd like to put your armrest in the upright position, be very gentle with it. It's a lady armrest, so slowly, nice and calm, and then it'll click into place. And once again, if you want to put it down when we get off the coach in a little while, just lift it up slightly and it'll click back down for you. Seat belts come up in between the middle of the chairs. Click yourselves in at the side, especially if you're sitting at the front of the coach or above the exit towards the middle of the coach. If you'll be able to see just in the distance there, a little bit hazy this morning, I think it's going to be a hot day today. In the distance, that's the island of Zakynthos or Zante. So Friday, that's where you'll be heading off to, your next Ionian island. And down this slope here is the beach of Kefalonia. Now both on Kefalonia and Zakynthos we have the caretta turtles, which are the loggerhead turtles. They come here every year to lay their eggs in the nice warm sand. The female turtle has to be about 40 years of age before she starts laying her eggs. So that's good for the older women, they can actually do something, hooray! And they lay about 100 and 150 eggs in the sand. They incubate nice and warm, and then these tiny little turtles come out and try and hurry into the sea before the seabirds or the crabs eat them, because they are a rather nice delicacy. And then the turtles, in their turn, if they're female turtles, when they're old enough, they will always come back to their original birthplace to lay their own eggs. So here on Kefalonia, and as I say on Zakynthos, we do have lots of turtles. The sea is full of dolphins as well, and up in the north part of the island, Assos and Viscado, which we'll be seeing tomorrow, there are seals as well. So we have a nice lot of marine life around the island. Your balcony with your early morning cup of tea and enjoy that amazing view. There was last week. Down the bottom here, as we start to come round the corner, this is the little fishing village of Kefallonia. Over the last few years they've just built a little harbour, mainly for the winter months when the wind gets up, protects the fishing boats. If you get a chance to come down, if not this holiday, maybe a future holiday, you might like to come down to Kefallonia one evening to have a very nice fish meal. As you can see, another long beach for everybody to enjoy whilst on holiday. main road coming out of Kefalonia has some very nice hotels and places to stay. And if you look out the front of the coach, up right in front of us, you can just about see a bell tower of a little church, and this is in the village of Skala. And Skala is one of the villages that you will pass through on your way down to Poros, which we will be seeing tomorrow. And this village is very special, and the church especially, because it is the church of the snakes. Now, the 14th of August every year, this little church fills up with tiny little snakes. Now, nobody really knows why these snakes appear every year at this certain time. The villagers like to think it's some miracle. The archaeologists and the geologists say it's because it's on the breeding path of the snakes. But the little Kefalonian folk story has it that many years ago, when they used to have all the pirate attacks on the island, the nuns in the church had heard of a recent pirate attack and were absolutely terrified at the thought of what the pirates might do to them if they got inside the church. So they prayed to the Panayir Fidhu, who's the patron saint of the snakes, that she might change them all into snakes to protect them. This she did. So when they broke into the church, they found a church full of little snakes with black crosses on their heads. As I say, these snakes still come every year. There's a big festival day up in the village, a band plays, they have all market stalls, lots of kebabs, and hundreds of Greek people come to see if they can catch one of these little snakes in their jam jar and take it home. So that is something that still happens today. I think it probably is just on the breeding path of these snakes, but the folk story is still quite pleasant as well. So hold on to your hats, we have an exciting road to take us up to the main road that's going to lead us into Agistoli. 1985 as a Thompson rep, actually down in the village of Skala, which was a tiny little village back then, with only a couple of hotels, one supermarket and no beach road at all. So your hotel didn't even exist back then. I'm now married to a Greek man and we have 3 children. My eldest daughter is over on the Greek mainland in university studying physiotherapy. My son's in his last year of school, he's 17. They actually stay at school until they're 18 years of age, so the last couple of years is almost like college, so he's taking his university exams this year. And my youngest daughter is 15 and she's just starting into the high school now when they go back next week. They have a very long summer holiday here in Greece. The schools break up usually about the 10th or 11th of June. And as I say, they're going back next week, so they have 3-month summer holidays. Can you imagine that? So one of the best jobs in Greece is to be a teacher. You have a lovely long summer holiday. You have 2 weeks off at Christmas, 2 weeks off at Easter. Nearly every other week there's a Saints Festival day of some kind or a teacher's training day. I don't know how the children ever learn anything at a Greek school because they're hardly ever there. But during the summer holidays they're off down enjoying the beaches because the schools really are too hot anyway. The government can't afford to put air conditioning in all of the schools. So they have a very long summer holiday. Dionysi, my partner down at the front here, was born on Kefalonia. We're just coming up to his village, the next village. He's been a driver all of his life. In the winter he drives the school buses as well, so you are in excellent hands today. All a compliment. So there's a nice hibiscus there on the right hand side. So we do have a very green summer. But in the winter, usually about the end of October, the weather starts to change and the rain does come. And by golly does it come. It really rains here. Everybody lives in their Wellington boots. But if we didn't have the rain, then we wouldn't have such a lovely, beautiful green island to share with you. Then in January, February, that's when the snow comes. We usually have -3, -4 degrees. It really is very, very cold. And as the houses are really only built for the summer, it does seem even colder than that. We have tiled or marble floors in our houses with just rugs down. Only the newer houses have double glazing. So it does get a little bit chilly in the winter. All of these mountains here to the right-hand side are full of snow. A couple of years ago we had such a bad winter that it actually brought the pylons down as well. So we were 7 days without any electricity or any water in the snow, in the cold, and it really wasn't very pleasant at all. But hopefully that's all been repaired now, and you're enjoying the sunshine anyway. We've just seen some pomegranates on the trees, so keep your eyes open for them as we make our way along the road. Lots of olive trees, as you know. Unfortunately, we do have these odd burnt areas too. During the summer months, as you can see, the grass does get very dry. Some of these fires are by accident, but unfortunately a lot of them are set on purpose. Most of them are set by the shepherds. They want to get rid of all this dried grass so that the nice new green grass will come through for their sheep of goats. But they do usually pick a windy day, which makes the fire spread rather too quickly, get out of control, and then we have a problem. We're very lucky that we have fire planes at the airport that fly out, sometimes on patrol looking for fire, other times actually putting fires out. If we do get a very big fire, we do get help from Patra, which is on the Greek mainland. There's big helicopters come over with like hanging parachutes underneath them, or the great big planes that scoop down on the water and fill up with water and then fly over the fires and put them out. But it isn't very pleasant, and you will be seeing these odd areas of burnt ground where, as I mentioned, we do every year unfortunately have these fires around Kefalonia. These flowers at the side of the road, these oleander bushes, we'll see lots of those today. Pink, white and a dark cerise pink. Very pretty flower. Not a good idea to pick them though. They do have a milky sap which will irritate your skin and bring you out in rather a nasty rash. Interesting exhibition of what happened to the island during the 1953 earthquake. I will be explaining more about the earthquake tomorrow in quite detail on our island tour, but you will have an insight into it today. Now, not only are those people over there looking at the fishing boats, they're also watching the turtles. As the fishermen clean out their fishing nets, they throw odd bits of fish into the water, and that's when the turtles appear. And there is one seal in Agistoli. I have yet to see him, but there are turtles here swimming around, having a nice free brunch from the fishermen that are cleaning out their fishing nets. So after you've had your free time in Agistoli, this is the harbour front you really need to get down to get our ferry, which is right in front of us. The white ferry you can see there with the railings around the top is the Luxury ferry. So if you get down to the harbour front with this nice wave design, all of the boats here, follow the palm trees down to where the ferry is right in front of us now. It goes every half an hour, so obviously this isn't our one, but that's where it's going to be. So this is where you need to come, down to the harbour front, walk along, nice leisurely, cool walk to the little ferry boat there.
What time? Yeah.
And if you get lost, there is only one port for the Luxury ferry, so you can always ask someone directions, but if you get to the harbour front, you really can't get lost anyway.
What time?
What time ferry, please?
Right, we're going to the museum and the church first. So after we leave the church, I will remind you of times. We need to be on the 1 o'clock ferry.
1 o'clock.
So if we get down here about 1:45, you can get your personal belongings and your lunch boxes off of the coach so that you don't have to take them around with you now. Get down there for that time and then we will all walk on the ferry together because we'll have the tickets. So if you get back down here about 1:45, 1:50, meet up with the Anisi, get your bags, your lunchbox, anything else that you want to leave on the coach now so you don't have to carry it around with you, and then we'll all get on the 1 o'clock ferry together. But I will mention it again. First of all, we're going to the museum though.
It's lovely. I mean, it's got
Good idea.
It's these electricity wires that he hit. And you see the little bills on the thing, which every other country has had for centuries. They've just been put up this year, apparently. But this is what he hit, so he died down in the valley here. And as we come round the next corner, there is a little monument to him. Okay. Does anybody, there's somebody, tell me how they got those balls up there? Do they have to bring the wires down to stick them up? Yes. You don't get a step ladder? No? This hotel on the right-hand side crashed into this bottom bit here. And this is his memorial here with the Greek flag on the left-hand side. So how do you get the balls up there?
Chuckling.